Without further ado, we've got my guy, Bania. How we doing, boss?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Um, so pretty much everybody on this call knows who you are. But for those that don't, how long have you been selling with Pinnacle for in our group?
I think I started, it's almost coming up on a year, I'm pretty sure in November of last year is when I got fully contracted and started.
Yes, sir. And what were you doing before this?
I was knocking doors, selling pest control, door to door. Yeah.
Right. How would you compare selling pest control, knocking doors to doing this?
In my opinion, I think it's just a different type of sale. I would say on the doors, like you really only have like one shot to either close them on the spot or it's pretty much over there. Like you're really not going to go back to that area the next day. But compared to the phones, you can call someone back week, month, year later, you're still going to have that opportunity to still talk to them and repitch them. So I honestly, I would say it's a little bit easier compared to the doors. Just give yourself a lot more opportunity.
A lot more opportunity. And not only
Yeah.
that, but guys, everybody here, we're building a significant book of business where it's not just a one and done type of sale where, your guys' books of business, you're going to be reviewing those every single year, adding coverage on, getting referrals, ensuring other family members, all those different types of things. So I encourage you guys, like when you're every client you communicate with and every sale you make, don't look at it as just a transactional one-time sale. Look at this as an extended lead where I'm going to make multiple sales off this person throughout the lifetime of my career in insurance.
100%.
And you did. I was texting you before this because I noticed you've been super consistent, bro. And I've never told you this, but what I like about the Michigan guys is you guys are like me when I was producing. Like you guys are just low key. You guys just lock in and you guys just write business and do your thing. And
Yeah.
just no drama. And that's how it should be. You guys are just helping families, doing the right thing. How much did you do last month?
Last month I submitted about I think 52 or 53. And I think about if I round it up, it's like 30K or 30K issued, 38K issued
Nice,
the last
bro.
month. Yeah.
So a lot of families helped. What would you say are just some tactical, applicable things that you can advice that you can give to everybody on this call that allowed you to hit a $50,000 month?
Yeah, I mean, for anyone, like even like newer people that I bring on, it really just comes down to work. Like it, the reason people sell the most, or you see the people who are selling the most, is just because they're working the hardest. I mean, yeah, it's going to come down to lead spend, but even last month, I don't think I spent I would say over 5 grand in leads. Like I was just going back, calling older leads, appointments were answering. It was just clicking. Um, but I was working the same amount of hours as any other month. Like it was just a numbers game at that point. It's a lot average.
What does your guys' daily schedule look like?
I usually am in the office by 8:30, 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday we usually start around like 10:30. Um, Usually stop dialing until like 7:30. Um, when I first started, I definitely was putting in more hours just because that's what Chris, Malad, JP were all telling me. That's what they were pushing is obviously you have to overcome. There's a learning curve in this industry as any sales industry. So I was just told the first 3 months, balls to the wall, 300 plus dials every day, as many hours as it took to get there. Just try to get it in front of as many people as possible in the beginning. But I think now that I kind of have a better concept of, who my buyers are, um, where my lead spend's going, you know, kind of like gauge the client within the first, I would say, like a minute or so. So it's just gotten a lot easier to honestly find buyers quicker, just spend less time on the phones and more time helping out my guys, recruits, training, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And so you say so you're starting at right now you're starting at about 8:39 and you guys are in the office till 11:30.
On the weekdays, I would say we're probably here from like 9 a.m. to about like 7:30 p.m. Like seven
Okay.
thirty eight p.m. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Saturdays is when
What,
it's like a little bit later.
got it. What were you, and then what were you doing what was your schedule like when you first started?
I would say probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, like same start time, but I think I was dialing to like 9:30, like 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Like I was calling like
Gotcha.
Washington and later time zones.
Okay. And and do you guys mainly do mortgage protection? Do you guys do any
Yeah.
IULs or no?
No, we mainly just stick to age mortgage, like strong point we'll mix in, but I mainly just stick to like 3 month, 6 month leads at this point.
Okay. Nice. That's solid. What are um what are some just tactical little tips or different things that you had to tweak and adjust between when you first started to now? Maybe it could be track words used with clients or various different things that's allowed you to level up your production.
Yeah. I think in the intro, just learning who their beneficiary is or who they want to protect, like originally what their thought process was, like getting out ahead of that like right away. Um, I mean, for example, like at the end of my intro, I'll be like, okay, was it just you in the home or you have like someone else there with you? They'll let me know. And then I make it pretty easy. I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming that you had them in mind as the beneficiary. That way, if anything happened to you, the home's completely paid off for them, right? And most of the time they're going to say yes. So just getting that early on, constantly hitting on that throughout the pitch, like throughout the inventory. When I go over their other policies, I'm asking who the beneficiary is for those policies and just being straightforward with them. Be like, okay, so I'm assuming as well they'll be the beneficiary for this policy as well. Just constantly,
Yes,
yeah, just yeses throughout the entire process using the yes ladder. Obviously, the more yeses that you hear or get them to say yes to, the more likely they are to agree to doing business with you at the end.
100%.
Yeah.
That was well said.
Um, yeah,
It's
I would
just
say
it
that.
comes down to assumptive question asking.
100%. Yeah, just assumptive throughout the entire pitch.
You're not saying, "Hey Mary, so do you want John to be the beneficiary?" "Hey Mary, is this important to you guys?" Like, no, Mary, I'm assuming that at the time you had submitted this request, this is important to you guys to making sure that the home is protected.
Yeah.
Is that Share with us like some of your exact track words that you've used in building the lie?
Okay. So obviously, Jonah, I'm sure you had someone in mind, right? Someone who would take over the home if anything happened to you. Did you have another spouse or significant other there in the home with you?
I do, yes.
Okay, gotcha. And who was that?
My wife Claudia.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you'd want Claudia as the beneficiary for this. That way, if anything were to happen to you, that the home's going to be completely paid off for her, correct?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, gotcha. And then I guess like another example would be is when I'm like pitching numbers when I get to that point, especially for equity protection, like they're older, so it's honestly a lot easier to kind of I guess get them to get a little bit more emotional because they're older. So let me see. Like for example, I just put this one up. I was like, okay, so Jonah, the first option here, this is gonna give your wife Claudia 6 months of mortgage payments after you pass away, and that comes out to this. 9 months. This would give Claudia 9 months of mortgage payments price, and then this would give her an entire year of mortgage payments. So, out of these three options, which one would you want to see if you can qualify for, and how much time would you want to give Claudia? After God forbid you do pass away. So
So,
just kind of incorporating it there. I don't say their name every time, but that's kind of like a genuine consensus of what I kind of how I kind of pitch it. Like just adding in their beneficiary, and then even throughout the application, like hitting on it again while I'm putting in the beneficiary's information, just kind of going back over what this is going to do for them, because that's the only reason that they're buying is it's doing something for them. So I would say that's probably my best example of doing that. Other than that, I really don't think I do much different. I think I just put in the hours. I think that's really what it comes down to for any newer agents is just putting in the hours until you kind of get the skill set. And then once you have the skill set, you add that in with your work ethic. And I think that's when like you'll see the consistency. It's not really going to be like up and down. It'll just a constant flow no matter what happens throughout the day.
boom, well
Yeah,
said. So just keeping it simple and putting in the work,
100%.
not overcomplicating it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some? You good with some rapid fire objections?
Yeah, sure.
Let's hit it. All right, Ben. Is this required?
No, nothing's required, Jonah. It is all regulated through the state. Um, all it is just a policy designed for the home, so that way, if and when anything does happen to you, that obviously it's taken care of for your family. Did you already have something put in place that would pay off the entire home if God forbid you didn't come home tomorrow?
I've got insurance through my work.
Okay. Yeah. So work insurance is great. Only issue is that once you retire or if you were to lose your job, that policy is not going to follow you. So it's important to have something private outside of work that's designed for the home.
Boom. Yeah, Ben. Somebody called me 6 months ago, and I already got this taken care of.
Okay, gotcha. That's why it's flagged still here on our end. It just looks like you are in the wrong risk class, which isn't any issue. Usually when you have something and it's still flagged, it's for one of two reasons that it comes across my desk. One, you qualify for more coverage for the same rate that you're paying currently, or the same amount of coverage that you have currently, just at a cheaper monthly rate. So, Jonah, do you remember which one of our carriers you ended up getting put with?
Um, I think it was. I think it was an American Income
American Income.
something.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. And you said how much coverage did you have?
I think it was a $10,000 policy.
Okay. Gotcha. And do you know how much you're getting charged each month for that policy?
Oh shoot. About 120 a month.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, that's probably why it's flagged here. Was there a reason that you went with a lower rated carrier? Did you have like a heart attack last year or cancer?
No, I'm healthy.
No. Okay. Yeah, let me look into that for you, see what I can do. You said you had it for about 6 months?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like here through American Home Life. Have you heard of them before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you've heard of the pharmacy CVS, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so that's their sister partner for insurance. It looks like they'd be willing to do the same amount of coverage, that 10,000 for 89 bucks a month. So before we go canceling anything or switching anything over, we just want to make sure you're approved for that new rate. Only takes about 10 minutes. Just got to confirm some information here.
Guys, pay attention to Ben's tonality. Like, does not stutter, doesn't hesitate, immediately answers the objection, but also doesn't, he doesn't rush into it excited, or he's not, he's just very calm, very collected, just acknowledges what I said and takes back control. And especially that last part where he said, he's like, hey guys, we don't want to go canceling anything until we know you're approved with this carrier and that takeaway. Because a lot of times when you go into replacing the policy, like if you get too excited or you jump into it, the client's like, oh, like they just freak out, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So saying it before they say it, where listen, Mary, we don't want to do anything and cancel anything until we know you're for sure approved with this new policy. And then God willing, we can get you approved with this lower risk class. Then we'll make sure that old policy gets canceled out. That way you're not getting billed for two policies. That was good. Um, yeah, Ben, we should have taken care of everything at closing. We really did that. We signed
Okay.
all the paperwork.
Okay. I got you. And you said that was through Rocket Mortgage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Rocket Mortgage, they don't directly handle the mortgage protection. That's something like a third party like ourselves, like a brokerage, is going to take care of for you. So what I think you're thinking of is the IMO insurance. That's going to cover the home if there was a fire, flood, tornado, anything like that. This is more similar to life insurance. Just the main difference is that it has living benefits. Has anyone ever gone over living benefits with you?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, so that's going to be any situation, Jonah, that or you came across a terminal chronic illness, or if you became disabled and you couldn't perform daily living tasks, this policy is going to begin to pay out to you while you're still living. And then there's an added in death benefit. Obviously, if you passed away, the full mortgage would be paid off for you. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Yeah, so
gotcha.
that's what we'll be going over.
I don't remember filling anything out.
Yeah, it was initially either when you closed, refinanced, or maybe your loan was sold off that you had filled this out and sent it in to us. It was like one of those little mailers, like a flyer almost. So I received that here on our end. Like I said, it just looks like no one ever reached out or got that put in place. So I'm the manager in the area here. I just wanted to personally reach out myself, make sure it all got taken care of for you.
Um, yeah, Ben, I don't really think I'm interested.
I gotcha. It does look like here someone reached out a couple of months ago. Looks like it was a junior underwriter. They only have access to so many different carriers. Like I said, I'm the senior underwriter here, so I work with every single top A-rated carrier in the state that offers it. Now, last time, was it kind of just more the price that you weren't interested in, or you just didn't qualify?
Uh, I just don't know if we need this. Is this required?
No, like I said, nothing's required. And again, did you already have something put in place that would pay off the full mortgage if anything happened to, or no?
No, but I have a 401k.
Okay, I gotcha. So that's great, but when you pass away, your family's not going to have direct access to this or to that 401k. But with the mortgage protection, any situation you had a terminal or chronic illness, you can begin to pull money out from this policy while you're still living.
Boom. Fire. Are you with my lender?
No, so I work directly for the state. I'm directly licensed through them. So I work with all the top A-rated carriers. We're a third party that works through your lender.
Boom. That's good. All right. I know I'm not to harass you with questions. These are you're doing a really good job with these. I'll give you one more. Actually, give you two more. The first one, yeah, Ben, I just I think we're gonna sell the home, and the next home we buy, we'll get the mortgage protection then.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, when do you plan on moving out?
We'll probably sell it in the next 6 months to a year.
Okay,
Put it up
cool.
for sale.
That's awesome, right? Cool. Um, cool thing about this type of coverage, Jonah, is that it's not tied to the home or the loan. It's going to be something that's tied directly to you. So even if you moved out of the city, out of the state, or even out of the country, this policy is still going to remain with you. And if you were to wait another year, the rates are just going to double on you. And by that time, it wouldn't probably even make sense.
All right, last one. I promise. Ben, do we have to make a decision today?
No, so just kind of like you have to think about it. So do the insurance carriers, right? They're not just going to approve anyone. So my main goal today, Jonah, was just to make sure I can give you something to think about. So in order to do that, we just have to submit an application. They're going to take about 24 to 48 hours just to get back to me on whether they're even willing to approve you. So again, out of the three options, which one, are you most comfortable with just to start, see if you're approved?
All right, guys. If you guys want to write 50 grand like Ben did, get the objections memorized. If for all of you guys on this call, if you don't have the objections memorized, like that's one of the most base level things you guys can do for success in this business. We all get a ton of objections. We all get a ton of rebuttals. And even if, again, what I want you guys to pay attention to is like he knew exactly what to say, but also, again, it's how we talk about it, it's how you say it. Because what you say is only 20% of it. The rest of the 80% is your tonality, verbal pacing, your volume, all those different things that come into play with it. So even if you guys know the objection, but it takes you a few seconds to think of it, or like you hesitate or stutter. Dude, Ben didn't stutter on a single one of those. He didn't hesitate in a single one of those, and that threw him a ton. So it needs to become second nature. Where if somebody if someone woke you up in the middle of the night and they're like, "Do we have to make a decision today?" Or "Hey, can you call me back?" Or "Are you with my lender?" You guys can just spit it off the top of your brain like it's nothing. You don't even have to think about it. That's one of the most important things you guys can do. So you guys don't have the objections memorized in that sheet, work on that this week and today and get that dialed in. So cool, man. I think we were talking about this on the manager meeting this morning here in the office. And I think somebody that the most common thing that most people struggle with that want to write business, but that are also looking to grow a business and build a team is just balancing their time between the two. Because not only it's great if you don't have agents and you can just solely focus on recruiting, but dude, you're also a leader and you're also developing other agents. So how do you balance your time between this?
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of starting to like find out how to do that. Just because I've had a lot more, just recruiting calls, training, stuff like that on a daily basis. So what I've kind of had to do is just honestly work through both. Like I have guys who aren't contracted yet, so I have them coming up to me while I'm dialing, which is fine. That's what I'm here for. So just being able to do it at the same time, it honestly it's kind of hard, but I mean the past like 3 days, I'm looking at my sheet here. I've talked to maybe like 13 people total, and I closed like 4 deals. So I think just like being able to find buyers early in the morning or just finding time later at night once everyone's kind of gone home just to call some more numbers. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to find a way like to, I guess, divvy up my time, but I try to get here early before everyone else just so I can see if I can pull one up then. But I think it just comes down to kind of buying higher intent leads. So that way I know I can put myself in front of at least one buyer a day and pretty confident in myself that I can close that buyer if I get them on the phone.
Right. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. And I can relate with that as well, where, and I think that's huge for anybody wanting to build a team is just lock in for those early hours of the day. Like
Yep.
lock in and prioritize, and not only prioritize dialing for yourself, but also for your agents. Like, hey guys, for the first 4 hours of the day, we're all going to dial. We're not going to talk to each other. You know, if you have questions or it's an emergency, come find me. Other than that, we're here to help families. And then, you know, at the end of that, we'll have a little break. We'll go over the different objections you handled, all these different things, and we'll talk then. But for the first part, we're just locked in, dialing, we're here to focus because not only that, but also the morning time is genuinely like from what I found is the best time
Yeah.
to help families. I've always had the
100%.
most success in the morning.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well, this is great. Anything else? Any takeaways or anything else you want to add
Um,
to this
no,
call?
I mean, it really just comes down to if you want success in this business or anything, it's just going to come down to putting in the hours, putting in the constant work, and just having the discipline for yourself. Just honestly doing it for your future self. Like if you want to become that person you see living in the penthouse or driving Raris, anything like that, like you have to become that person now. So that way there's no question on whether or not you can do it. It's just bound to happen if you just become that person, just by putting in the work.
Yeah, stick to find your why.
Yeah,
Speaking
absolutely.
of which, what's your why? Why did you get your license and get into this?
Um, I did it just honestly for the longevity in life insurance, knowing that it's honestly one of the better industries to get into for sales. I didn't see myself selling pest control for the next 4 or 5 years, or even having the ability to sell off after if I wanted to, just not being able to own my clients, my business, people below me. Um, so that's kind of why I got into the industry. I would say that's probably the main reason. But if it comes down to like my why, like in general, outside of insurance, it's truly just for my family. I want to retire my parents and just give myself the life that I know I deserve further down the line.
Love that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, lastly, and in closing, what's one thing you're thankful for?
Thankful for one, this opportunity, and two, just waking up today, honestly, get another shot.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
I love that. So awesome, bro. Well, dude, thank you for hopping on and pouring into the troops.
100%. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, have a blessed day, guys, and looking forward to seeing a good chunk of you guys next week. Keep grinding.